Wow, that's weird. That was the shortest introduction ever. Very strange, especially since I said it for 1 minute. How's everybody doing? MJ here, and we're back on the iPhone. Pocket 3 looked great, and the auto exposure on it's fantastic. But let me tell you, it doesn't do any good to have a piece of equipment if it doesn't work for you. And it wasn't working for me, so yeah, we're back on the iPhone, which is again ridiculously reliable. It's a fine piece of equipment. Let me just hold this down a little bit more. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Sorry about that. I'm using my new tripod, the MT44, and it's actually a selfie stick because the tripod folds up into this giant handle, and it's like 1.5 meters long. So, but that means that I can stand this on the ground and like bring my Pocket 3 or my mobile phone up to an appropriate height. And so, gosh, the thing was really cheap too. Now I got this new little light. And let me turn it on. It's going to be pretty bright. It comes with a big soft box, which is interesting. Now, I'm not using the soft box, but what I like about it is that you can turn it right down to almost nothing, and then 100% is like really bright, right? And then in this mode, I can change the color temperature, and I can make it, super cold. And now it's getting, super cold and super white. See how dirty the lens is. But like for here right now. Like for example, if I wanted to make myself spooky, actually on this MT44, there's actually a hot or cold shoe on the top, and this thing ships with a cold shoe adapter, so you can have like a little bit of a fill light, But some of the interesting things, this is kind of funny, and I'm just going to make sure that we're okay. I've had problems with the comments in the past. Okay, good. See, I didn't see that comment. This is crazy. Something's going on with Prism's chat box. Sorry about that, Dave. I may stop using the chat box. I may go back to burning it live. I mean, I asked them, to do the comment timeout, and they did, but they just, So this is RGB mode, and in RGB mode, you can just. It's hard to see, but this is blue. And you can just continue to, it just rotates through 360 degrees, And so like this is purple. Probably looks better if it's shining on me. Or going on red, But let me show you some of the funny modes. This is HSI mode. And again, it just switches color temperatures, but this is party. Now let me show you why this is funny. This is supposed to be, this is TV mode. So if I turn it down a little bit, it's supposed to mimic like somebody, like there's a TV on, in the room. So if I put it over here to the side, it acts like there's a TV. Hey, Fist Bump Matthew, how you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, see, I didn't see any of these comments in the chat box. This is really bizarre, guys. This chat box is not working. Whoa. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. So this is supposed to mimic a TV, and it's changing brightness. It's hard to see, but let me crank up the gain on a little bit more. So this is more like a TV in the other room. You see how it's kind of changing? All right, so there's, this light's really cheap and it's tiny. It's like very, very small. Fireworks, this is supposed to mimic, fireworks. And then this is one of my favorites. This is lightning. So you put it way off to the side and you're like, oh, boom, it's like, oh, it's crazy. Fist bump, how you doing, Uncle Bud? Good to see you. So this is lightning mode. I don't know how, realistic these are. Fire engine, ambulance, cop car. This blinks alternately blue and red, you know, so if you want to fake like you're getting pulled over. And HSI fast. So this just changes. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you. It's my hat, and I don't know if you can notice up here in the corner, real subtly, I've got my little hat logo. And so this just changes, you know, between the different modes, and this does it the same thing slower. And then this is just blue flash, green, red, HL beam, high and low beam, just, you know. And then this is just an emergency blinker, which is cool. And this is paparazzi. Oh, this is cool. Like if you think, you know, it's like taking pictures, you know, it's like, you know, oh, thank you very much, guys. Thank you, thank you. It's nice to be here, and I appreciate everything. You know, I thank you for this award, and so that's pretty funny. This paparazzi. RGB strobe. This red, green, blue strobe. You know, RGB strobe and just regular strobe light. And this is pulsing. I don't know why you'd use that. Fault bulb. Oh, this is a faulty, like a. I hate those. Those fluorescent light bulbs that always mess up. You know, that's exactly what it looks like. And now this is party, and I don't know why they call this party, but all it does is just change color. So anyway, I'm going to put it back onto CCT, and I'm going to turn it down. I don't think I actually need any fill light, but I just thought I would bring this for fun. I'm going to turn it off. So there you go. Anyway, I'm having a blast. And how's the audio, by the way? Because I'm running it according to Dave's recommendations. Let me clean his camera off. Dave's recommendations with the transmitter and receiver. And I think it's a little bit better. I'm using noise reduction mode and so forth. So let me see if I can get a little bit better. Probably can't. See, it looks a little dark now. It's funny, you know, you look at that DJI and the Pocket 3, and guys like Casey from my favorite YouTube channel, I think, I mean, for, you know, tech channel, is Camera Conspiracies. And watching the transformation of this guy, this guy is a real camera freak. And all right, thanks. Appreciate it. This guy's a real camera freak, and boy, he knows his stuff. I mean, he can rattle specs, and he just knows he's quite amazing, and he's also hilarious. And I think he's a brilliant guy. But here's the thing: he's talking about the Pocket 3, and he's like, "Should I get it? I don't know. Is it worth it? It's going to be worth it." He never did. And so, one of his channel patrons, an accountant, I think his name is Mr. Winkelstein, and he's always talking about Winkelstein now. I think that's his name. And Casey was saying he bought the Pocket 3 for him. Winkelstein bought it for him, and he's been using it. Now, Casey's whole thing is, you know, you log on to his, I mean, he starts a live stream or a video, and his theme song just says, "All I want is a perfect camera. All I want is a perfect camera." That's it. And then he comes on with the Pocket 3 and he says, "I think my channel is ended. I think it's finished." And he talks about how it just destroys everything else. And he's comparing it to these like Canon DSLRs. And he has been obsessing over this Blackmagic camera because he missed a deal a couple years ago where it had all this stuff and he hesitated on it. And it was used, but it had the cage and all kinds of crazy stuff. And he missed out on it, and he's been regretting it. So he found another deal, and he missed out on that one. So then he took a recent deal on a Blackmagic, and it, like the HDMI port, does it work and stuff. And he's got it in front of him, and he's going, "Does this look better than the Pocket 3?" Now, so I did 2 live streams a few minutes ago with the Pocket 3 using, you know, the mic connected to it. And it looked like it was buffering, you know, during the live playback. But if you look at the stream, I think, I just took a quick look, the save stream looks pretty good. And a lot of times that happens as you you know, time goes on, YouTube kind of improves it a little bit. But I got to tell you, you can't beat it. And I got that black mist filter on that thing. Oh, which reminds me, I didn't take it off. Gosh. The black mist filter has a flaw. And the flaw is it's so thin that the camera can go into lock mode with the filter on. And then you're stuck trying to get it out of lock mode. And one of the ways that you do that is by sliding the filter off, and it's a metal frame that is magnetic, and then you risk scratching the daylights out of the lens. But fortunately, I haven't had that happen. And it does, I'll put my thumb right on the lens. It's okay. I clean it every time I use it. And the head does go into a locking position. And so, yeah, I reported that to DJI. I can't believe that they did that, because, you know, DJI is actually, their engineering is so good that I'm surprised they did that, actually. So a lot of people have been commenting on my hat, because, you know, I wore a bush hat for, gosh, I don't know, 20 some years more. And more than that. And I love my bush hat, but I've been wearing, you know, the fedora that I got in Paris, and I ordered a couple more online. They're almost here. But something else I just couldn't resist. I'm a huge Clint Eastwood fan, and one of my favorite movies was High Plains Drifter, and they had a High Plains Drifter replica hat. And they also had a replica of Clint Eastwood's poncho that he wore in the three trilogies, you know, where he's just standing there and he just pulls up the side of it to reveal his gun hand. So I got one of those because, you know, poncho weather's coming up. And I've only ever seen one poncho in Taiwan, so I realize I'm too old for these kind of ridiculous fantasies. But I think if walking around Jubei with the High Plains Drifter hat and the Clint Eastwood poncho, I think it's going to be pretty interesting. And maybe I'll do a Pocket 3 video about it. But this this new selfie stick and tripod is amazing. The tripod handle is about this long, and it folds out. It's actually very stable. And like I said, it's about 1.5 meters long. Please stream that. Okay, I can do that. I get a copyright hit, but I play the good, the bad, and the ugly, you know. That would be funny. But one thing I like about this, and let me see, I'm going to take the phone out for a second to just hand hold this. I just want to show you this design. Let me see if I can do this without doing something stupid. Okay. All right, let me turn this around. Rear. And here you go. Let me just go to the wall. Okay, this thing folds up like this, and that's the regular mount. You know, this folds in there like that, but you pop this out, and then you can flip this up. It's hard to do with one hand. Flip this up, and that's your mobile phone holder. And of course, this is an extension. This just goes up and down. And then there's a ball joint on here. And here's the thing. And this red ring you unlock, and it folds it up, and this becomes a handle. But this thing is giant. You can see I've only got a little bit of it extended. Let me see if I can put this back in here without pressing the power button and killing my live stream. Yeah, I think I'm okay. Yeah, we're okay, good. Oh, how about that? Wow. Okay, yeah, we can do a Clint Eastwood-esque live stream. One thing I wish Prism Live Studio had that the native iPhone and most native phone camera apps have, and that is a level. You know, because if you're using a gimbal, that's okay. And if you're using a gimbal, also you can check your level, because I'm always every 2 or 3 times I use my gimbal, I'm recalibrating it. But if we had a nice levels, what I'm trying to say, horizontal, that would be able to match those lines, and you know that your horizon's straight. So, all right, could I get a signal check? How's the audio? It's not clipping, I hope, and I hope it's loud enough, because what I hate is when I go to my live streams, I'll look at some other video, and some of these YouTubers, they really got their audio down, others don't, but the ones that do are a pleasure to watch, and I want to be in that category. I mean, where it's not a pain in the neck. And then have, then you go to my live stream and it's, it's low, so I don't want that to happen. So, fantastic. Okay, great, thank you. Now it looks like, okay, now I'm seeing those. Okay, they're burning, so I'm seeing, okay, thank you, that's good, that's good. I just don't have the Pro, I don't know what they call it, Pro Dash or something, black mist filter. But that filter is so amazing. All right, now, got a couple things to show you guys, and I can do it now in Prism. As you saw earlier, this is a silhouette that was cut out of paper by an artist in Paris. And it was, cheap. I think it was like 10 euros or 15 euros or something, whatever. I gave the guy a tip. I think he did an amazing job. I was wearing this hat, and I don't remember what else, but obviously a collared shirt. And you see he's got a little bit of a scruff, on my chin. I'm thinking about turning it around so I'm facing the other way. I don't know. But I have two cutouts because it was a piece of folded paper, and I do have two that are, they're the same. They're just opposite directions. I wouldn't need to scan it again. I can just flip it like in Designer. But I think what I'm going to do is the scruff on my chin, I think he's got a pretty good likeness. The scruff on my chin, I think I'm going to smooth that out. So it looks like I'm clean shaven, because I prefer to be clean shaven. But I was, on vacation, and I don't think people would, be too upset with me for not shaving for a couple days. But I did bring the Arc 5 with me. Now you guys know, and what I did was I made a transparent one here, and it's up in the corner. I just turned it off, turned it back on so you can see it. I'm just goofing around. You guys know we have this telescope, and I'm always into astronomy. But what made me so upset, kind of, was that this past week, a couple of days ago, was a full moon. It was the first full moon of 2024. And it's just been cloudy. It's just been like cloudy and rainy for a week. Hadn't seen anything for a week. And I got a new camera. I got a new CCD USB camera for the telescope. I installed the software for capture software. I also have astro stacking software. I'm ready to take some pictures. I also got a mounting ring for my Nikon DSLR, and I also have an extension tube, so I can do primary focus, or I can focus on an eyepiece, and I got a new lower power eyepiece, because when I was looking at Pleiades, it was too big. Anyway, the reason I mention all this is I try to keep up with stuff, but this past full moon is what they call a wolf moon. Hey, is Rob with us? I didn't see Rob. Hey, how you doing, Rob? Good to see you. All right. We've got a nice little crowd in here tonight. It's great because it's been a while. Nice to see everybody. What is a wolf moon? Oh, this is kind of in the way here. Let me move this out of the way a little bit, see if I can turn it on. All right. People from different cultures give full moons names that represent the peculiarities of the lunar month in which they occur. Throughout cold January nights, the howling of wolves could be heard around villages in both Europe and America, so the January full moon became widely known as the wolf moon. People used to believe that wolves howl because of winter hunger, but today we know that wolves generally use vocalizations to communicate, reinforce social bonds, and coordinate hunting. And so the January full moon is characteristically known as a wolf moon. And so then here's another little tidbit. So this mentions some of the other cultures too. Full moons are called differently in other cultures since it's hard to read because of the things in the way there. Some people didn't put wolves at the forefront and highlighted the, what does it say? Oh, the other peculiarities of the month. Okay, so it says, depending on the region, you can hear such names as the bear moon, bear hunting moon, and goose moon. One of the Celtic names for the January full moon is the stay home moon, which sounds like sensible advice when it's cold winter outside and wolves are howling. And here's some more examples. In Chinese, they call it holiday moon. Celtic, another name is quiet moon. North America, old moon. Cherokee, cold moon. Southern hemisphere, hay moon, buck moon, thunder moon, mead moon, which is interesting. And I don't know if MEAD, I don't know if that's the same as MEADE, but it could be when they make mead. I don't know. So anyway, I need to go back to my, there you go. Nope, video only mode, sorry. Okay, I need to go back here and see if I can put my status indicator back on. There you go. Yep, the status indicator helps a lot. So let me just check and make sure I'm not missing any more chat. So yep, things messing up. So Rob, how you doing? And I didn't see you come in. I'm sorry. I saw somebody else say hello to you, but fist bump, I appreciate it. It's been a while. Been a long time actually. So I'm enjoying some of these new DJI toys that I got, and I have been out of commission really for about 2 entire months where I just didn't, the heart palpitations and everything else that I've had. It's just been so, debilitating that I couldn't do anything. And so now I'm starting to come out of it. And today I got a chance to really catch up on my sleep, and I actually feel pretty good. So I don't want to stay out too late. I might get a snack, watch a little TV, or read that helps me fall asleep, but I want to continue the trend. And part of the reason that I got this gear is because I'm planning on doing more filming, and I'm talking with my studio designer. I may actually take the 3rd floor bedroom that I sleep in and turn that into my studio because it's got more room, and I might move my bedroom to the 4th floor where my studio is now because it really doesn't matter. In fact, the 3rd floor might be better because I don't really go in the bedroom except to sleep. And some nights I get really comfortable, and I have an eye mask that has a built-in heater in it. It's made out of graphene, and boy, that heat feels so good on the eyes, and it's supposed to be therapeutic. And I'll put that thing on and press a button, and I'm out. I might just sleep on the sofa for 5 or 6 hours. Sometimes I don't even go in the bedroom. So if I move the bedroom to the 4th floor, it won't have that big of an impact on my life. But if I move the studio to the 3rd floor, I'll have more room, which is great because I'm running out of room. I made a decision, I'm going to get yet another console, another digital console. And the digital console that I have now is made by the same company, and they're completely compatible. And they cross-communicate through AES-50. So I can basically use one console as a stage box or set of inputs for the other console. It'll be fantastic. And the analog console that I have is actually a full-blown inline recording console, which makes recording so much easier when you have inputs on one set of faders and outputs, which is the mix back on separate faders. which these new digital consoles don't. It's hard to operate them in inline mode, but hey, having these new tools, once I get the studio, that just kills my ears. These guys, man, I don't know what they're doing. They're idiots. I'd like to whack them with a pole as they drive by, each one of them. But once I have the studio built and all the acoustic treatment in place, it'll look good, and then I'll be able to do more filming. And a lot of the filming that I'm going to do is about how to use these consoles in this type of mode, because I'm apparently one of the few people in the world that is using, like, say, for example, the Behringer X32 in the way that I'm using it, because it comes from my analog background. And so only an old guy like me would do that. And I see a lot of YouTube videos about how to use the X32 in the studio, and they always use it in DAW control mode. So you're moving faders on the console, but it's moving faders on the mixer and the DAW. You're not even using the audio engines of the console. So you might as well just buy an X-Touch. You might as well just buy a $500 MIDI controller instead of a $3,000 console. That's dumb. But that's just me. So anyway, Behringer Wing with 2 Dante cards. I'm going to have to open it up and install one on the inside and then put the other one in the expansion port. That'll give me 96 channels of Dante. So get this, I will be able to, on this, because the Behringer Wing is stereo. So each channel, each fader can take a stereo input. It's stereo all the way through. So instead of having to use 2 faders, you know, for like guitar left and right, you've got 1 fader, and guitar left and right are on that 1 fader because that channel's stereo. So that means I will be able to mix with automation, because Patrick ported the automation over to the Wing. I'll be able to mix with automation 48 stereo tracks. That's insane. In the DAW. Of course, if you're using the DAW to mix, there's unlimited. I mean, there's some limitation like 500 or something, but I never have that many channels. And I usually don't get involved in projects that have more than 32 channels anyway. And there are some guys that do everything in stereo. They'll give me a project, they got snare drums in stereo, but it's not. It's just dual channel mono, dual channel bass, you know. And it's crazy. They just don't even think about it. They just drag a track in, you know. So anyway, enough about that. But those are my plans. There is a possibility still that I might move. There's a possibility still that I might find something coming open here. I'm going to wait a couple more weeks before I get my studio designer to come to the house and actually start working on the 3rd floor, because our good friend Xiao Hui is coming back after, she's coming back for what we call Guanyin, which is the Lunar New Year. And she does have a space across the street that she bought. And then the place she's renting now is going to come open. And she's a shrewd business person, and I'm going to ask her to help me. She said she would help me negotiate and find a place. Now, this is something else that's cool. In Hsinchu City, about maybe 20 to 25 minutes drive on the highway, there are several like cabins for sale that people just built, like a 2-room cabin on a small plot of land, you know, but there's trees and stuff, and there's a yard. And these places are cheap, you know, including the land, and I am actually looking at some of those, because a 15 or 20 minute drive, you know, to go to the studio to work all day wouldn't be bad. I do prefer it in my house. I do prefer it like across the street or something close by. But I gotta tell you, I mean, and also the benefits of having a place like that where you can have a barbecue and have your friends over that's away from the house. Something to think about. And they're actually, we're talking, you know, pretty affordable. So even I could probably afford that on just, you know, my retirement money. So who knows? But I wanted to come on and say hello and assure everybody that I'm still alive and I feel better. Like right now, I don't even have any drop beats. I feel great. Just had a little bit of rum. It's the first drink I've had all day. Went to our congregation meeting this morning, dropped my wife and my daughter off to at the big city mall, and I went straight home. I plugged a couple of devices in to charge, and I hit the rack and I slept for 5.5 hours. Wow. I do want to do a video about the e-ink device that I'm using, but Kit Masters did one. I should probably use my community, what do you call that, channel, I guess, to do a post and reference his video. But he did a complete how-to on the Onyx Books Note Air 3C. That's a mouthful. That's the one that I use. He was using the Tab Ultra C that had the keyboard on it, and he was recommending that. And he said, out of these two devices, I prefer this one. But here's the thing, he went back to the one without the keyboard like I had, because it's thin, it's razor thin, super thin, fits in your bag, it's not as heavy. And he said something that I actually said to him in a comment. I did not get the e-ink device with the keyboard because the form factor is exactly like my Surface Pro, which is Windows. But to me, a Surface Pro form factor in Android won't cut it because you don't have all the options with Android. You know, Android is a completely, it's a mobile device operating system, but it's not like Windows. So with the Windows 10, actually it's running Windows 11 now, Windows 11 Surface Pro and the Android e-ink tablet, I got the whole thing covered. And he responded in the comments. He says, that sounds like a winning combination. So he now has put out a video that he says that he now is going back and he prefers the e-ink tablet. Now this is something else interesting that he said. Occasionally, his boss will have team meetings and they'll have no device meetings. Okay, so they invites everybody to the meeting and he tells them, don't bring your phones, don't bring any laptops, no computers. Just come to the meeting without any of these distractions. And Kit always brings the e-ink device to write on. And nobody ever says to him, oh, you shouldn't have brought that, that's an electronic device. So everybody recognizes that it's a writing pad. But I gotta tell you, I love it. I'm using the Lam-A pen. I'm not so completely in love with the feel of the writing grip. But I did find another one, not by Lam-A. I found another German company that has an EMR pen. And Wacom also has an EMR pen. They're kind of funny though. They're made to be used like at home in the studio. There's no cap for to put in your pocket or anything like that. But they've got an interesting shape that's designed, you know, for maximizing control. But I think I'm going to spring for that other German one just to see. But I guess what I have to do is open a dialogue with Lam-A and ask them to do an EMR pen in another series, because my Lam-A fountain pen feels fantastic. I love how smooth it is. And as much as I love fountain pens, I'm doing e-ink now, so I'm writing even less. Although the funny thing is I do carry a paper notebook with me when I don't have my e-ink device, so I can write some stuff down that I want to later copy in the e-ink, because I know it's bizarre. There are some pens, regular roller balls, or I believe, unless I'm mistaken, I saw a fountain pen that maybe I'm wrong. But at any rate, it connects to an app on your phone and it remembers the strokes that it did. So even though you're writing on paper, you can download the path that the pen has taken on the paper and save that. That's pretty cool. That's not bad. As long as you can search on it stuff. So it's one thing I love about the handwritten ink with the 3C. is that all of your handwritten notes are searchable. That just blew my mind. And the keyboard has an amazing recorder on it. So you can go to a meeting or a lecture and just press the microphone button and it types the whole thing, voice types the whole thing. And it works in Chinese. And today I was using it in traditional Chinese and it just worked. It was amazing. So I want to do a little video on that. And what I'm going to do is, when I go to the JTS studio, I was supposed to go tomorrow. It's been canceled. One of the guys isn't available till later in the week. But I'm going to do a video on, hey, Mike, fist bump. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. I'm going to be doing a paperless studio video on how the Note Air 3C has changed my paperwork flow in the studio. And I got rid of that portfolio with all the separators for my clients and all the different papers that it's just nuts to try to go through. So I'm going to do a video about that. And yeah, I think that'll be worth seeing. The cool thing is it does have a screen recording app. And so when I talk about it, I can do a screen recording of what I'm doing, and it records the writing and everything that I'm doing so people can see what I'm doing. And that's exactly what I'm going to be concentrating on when I do the video. So, all right, like I said, I didn't want to stay out too late. Oh, this is what looks like about 37 minutes on the iPhone, but I've got a couple previous failed, but partially successful live streams I did tonight on the Pocket 3. The reason it quit is it said check your connection, the internet connection. And I was absolutely, without question, on the mobile network. So how it works with the Pocket 3 is bizarre. You open the app, you go to live streaming, and you have to turn on your phone's hotspot. Then you connect it to the phone with the Wi-Fi, but the Wi-Fi shuts off when you turn the hotspot on, and then it's connected to the Pocket 3 with Bluetooth. And I recommend that you go to, the higher frequencies, because if you're using the mic, they said you should put it on 5 gigahertz, and then, so what I'm thinking is, I may go back to doing what I did before. I actually had 2 SIM cards, and back in the old days with Taiwan Live TV, I would have this remote Wi-Fi box. You guys remember that? I talked about that. I was sponsored for a while by a company I won't name, but I ended up buying one myself. I need to get a 5G Wi-Fi box, and then I can connect the Pocket 3 to that device for live streaming while having my own separate 5G on this phone, although that really won't help me with the comments because I don't believe I can put this app in the background and look at YouTube. But having an extra 5G connection is definitely going to help, especially if I have to use a second device. But it'll mean I don't have to put this thing into hotspot mode. And I think that might be the bottleneck. We'll just have to see. But I wish it was as easy. Gosh, with the Insta360, I can go live immediately. Because the Insta360 connects not with Bluetooth, it connects with the phone using Wi-Fi while you use your mobile network to, you know, connect to the internet. That's how you should do it. But I don't know. I don't know. It's just weird. And I have to use the RTMP, which works, and the stream key, which works, but you know, none of these companies, Insta360 or DJI, have a true understanding of what we need as live streamers. Because we need to be able to live stream in landscape mode. 2, we need to be able to live stream in not selfie flip mode also, right? Because like, for example, the Insta360 Flow gimbal will do face tracking only if the camera is reversed. I hate that. I hate that so much. It's so narcissistic and so bullcrappy that it just makes me not want to use it. And they won't change it. And we just need to be able to use the app, go live, and see the damn comments in the app. Please, is that too much to ask? Maybe I should just do a video called "Is That Too Much to Ask?" and just outline what we need and see if anybody will listen to it. I doubt they will. So you guys take care, and we will see you later on in the week. Thanks for joining. Had such a big crowd in here. Rob and Mike, Dave, and my friend Jim, and I know I'm forgetting somebody. Matthew, how can I forget Matthew? And yeah, so it's great to see all you guys. I really appreciate it. But I'm going to sign off. I may go across the street. I may look for some kind of little snack to watch a little bit of TV. I sort of have to wind down again because I got so much sleep earlier, and I woke up like at 7:30 p.m. So, oh, there's Kenrod. Hey, Kenrod. Fist bump. Yeah, actually didn't see Kenrod come in. All right. So, Dave, if you don't mind saying, where are you now? If you don't want to say, it's okay. But where are you? Because we always like to know. You can always go to interesting places. But I'm going to sign out in just a minute. And I am taking it easy on this. I'm drinking Havana Club. If you guys have never had that, it's a really good rum. And I had some Propeller, which is interesting. It's from Lithuania. We had an incident here a couple of years ago in Taiwan where Lithuania has allowed Taiwan to open like an economic office, right? And because it's not a country, they call it like the Taipei Cultural and Economic Cooperative or some stuff like that, right? But they ended up calling it like the Taiwan office. And across the Taiwan Strait, they had a hissy fit over it. And so what China does is when they have a hissy fit, they do something bad because they think they have to punish people, okay, for just trying to be free. So I'm not being political. I'm just telling you the facts. So one time they canceled a shipment of pianos, and I believe it's from Lithuania, and some millionaire just bought all the pianos right away and donated them. So what happened was Lithuania had a huge shipment of rum going to China, and China canceled it. So they said, okay, well, Taiwan said, well, we'll take it. And they diverted it to Taiwan, and it came out in the news, and this rum sold out in 2 hours. I was like, I want to try this Lithuanian rum. I love rum, right? Rum and whiskey, my two favorites. It sold out in 2 hours, and I live in a small town. Yeah, it didn't even make it here. So I was down in Kaohsiung, and I was looking at one of the local stores, and I saw, hey, there's some rum I haven't seen before. I picked it up in the back. It said it's from Lithuania. I said, I bet it's that. But what it is, it's Caribbean rum, and they have it shipped to Lithuania, and they blend it, and then they bottle it in Lithuania, of all places. Man, nothing wrong with that. I mean, I like to do that myself here, and I've seen that done here because at the distillery down there, they do bottling for other companies, and they do a blended single malt whiskey. It's not single malt anymore, it's blended, but they do a blended scotch down at the place. And I saw like one of those huge 48 by 48 skids with a tote on it full of whiskey, and I was like, holy cow. To me, that's like seeing a stack of gold bricks, you know. But the good news is I found out that Costco has that Caribbean rum again. So I'm going to make every effort. I got to go to town tomorrow. I'm going to make every effort to go to town tomorrow and buy a case of it. A case is 6 bottles. Yeah, that'll be good. That'll keep me for a while. All right, you guys take care, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching The Real Taiwan, and thanks for letting me know what you think about my new little silhouette logo. I'm going to try to experiment and see what I can come up with in using that in the future. I may use it on my studio channel. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I got some more hats coming, and soon as they're here, I'll show you what they look like. You guys take care, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for joining. I'm going to say it's Jen, one on, and have a good afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world. Take care, and I love you all. Bye-bye.